Hey everyone, and welcome to Razor's Edge. I should just stop the recording. And this is Razor, and I'm here to do a video review or a first preview, first look of Soulmask. So, first, I'll start with a disclaimer. This is early access; things are subject to change. And the balancing, obviously there's going to be some balancing done. I can only speak in this review towards PvE after 17 hours of play yesterday, which is hence the bags. Playing with two other individuals, my wife and a good friend of ours, 17 hours. No video, tutorials. I strictly wanted to see out of the box what the developers have put into not only the tutorial, the instructions, how the average person will load up a game, how playable the game is. In early access, you always look at graphics, optimization, things like that, balance. So it's going to cover all that. But again, that disclaimer, it is early access. So things are always subject to change. Not being paid by the devs, just a former dev myself, a graphic designer, and involved in games pretty much almost my entire life. So we're going to first start off, and I'm going to go on camera for the intro, and then I'm going to go off camera in the gameplay, and we'll cover as much as I can. 30 minutes a review would probably do this game no justice, but I'm going to do my best to actually walk through the solo play, the hosted gameplay via co-op, and then they hosted via some of the, I'm not going to plug any G Portal or any of the other, which one's better as far as performance on just PvE, the AI, all the mechanics. First thing, number one question I've been asked, is this Conan? Yes and no. You might still hear me call my clan thralls, for a lack of a better term. Yes, it does feel a lot like that. But as far as gameplay, Myth of Empires, a developer, a game that actually got delisted on Steam. Fantastic game. Unfortunately, they decided to hire and steal. No, I can't say steal because it was never actually decided in court. I don't even know what happened with the court case. But they took a fundamental engine of, let's just say that there were some asset names in that game that were a little sus. That led me to believe that there was a lot of code reused within Myth of Empires. But a lot of the mechanics from that game, which I really enjoyed, a little bit of yes, there's a lot of Conan mechanics, but they did some things really well in this game that sets them apart from both of those titles as far as when they were in early access. The biggest one's the tutorials. Are they going to tell you everything you need to know about all the skill trees and the class types and things like that? No, by no means. And I'm absolutely sure there are a lot of videos out there from other people who have spent much more time in depth in each section. And I recommend those if you're not one to jump in like I did and just try to figure things out, what the tutorial showed me, what it didn't show me, the question marks I may still have. And you may catch me in the throughout this recording. You missed this, you missed that. Yeah, there's a lot of things that developers did in this game or didn't do. So I gave it an early access score of 8 of 10. I'd like to justify why. And we'll start off with the way we're going to break this down. I'm going to go through the startup of a solo casual type gameplay. Then we'll go into hosted gameplay on G Portal. I'm not going to show you the GUI for G Portal, but how that gameplay differs. It's a little bit harder, and I can't imagine what the extreme or the hard difficulty would be. We'll talk a lot about the AI of the game since this is focused on PvE. How difficult the AI is or lack of difficulty, where I found both the enemy, the invasions, Are they predictable? Is the AI stupid? Do they use their special attacks? Just things like that. So as I think of this, I'm going to break this video up into different sections, and then to finish off the video, we'll log in, like I said, to the hosted G-Portal session. And I only picked G-Portal because I already had an account there, and they do support the game. But I'm not endorsing G-Portal by any means. Use whichever you want, or if you want to host it yourself in your basement with your friends, that works too. I will tell you, like several other games that do hosted gameplay, it is running a server version on your local machine if you are the hoster, inviting people with co-ops. And that's one of the things I'm going to point out is finding games other than Direct Connect can be daunting. There are a lot of hosted sessions out there. So finding your friend's server, finding your own server, sometimes it's better just to go to direct IP and put in the IP port number and password and go in that way if it's a hosted session. Or you can use the nice nifty, if you're doing the co-op, a little code at the top, send them the code, and it's easy peasy. So a lot of things to do. One of the nice things that would be, I'll point off right off the bat, is it would, and I'll touch this, I'll show you. If you could actually type in part of the name of the server if you know it, and then filter down the list. That's not in there and makes it very difficult. So let's stop the recording here. I'm going to load up the game and go off cam, and we'll dig and dive right into this. Okay, here we are from the loading screen off camera, as I said. Continue is going to take you to your play session if you're local. One of the things you'll notice when you start up a game, they do provide you with under the name of the, or above the name of the server, a code. You just copy that, paste it to your friend. They can then join the game. So we go back to main menu, and they did add some back buttons which are really cool in this last patch, which are nice. But you can go to solo friends. Here's all the different menus. Why is it taking me here? Hold on. That's what happened. Online game. Thank you. Private servers. These are different hosted games within various, these are actually the official. It's all. So you can sort here. When I talked about joining direct server, if you don't have a code or you're playing on G-Portal, you can actually just connect to your server, port number, and password here. It takes you right there. But there's no way to actually, in private servers, to go and sort by someone's name. As you can see, there are a lot of servers. So this is the experience just from trying to find the game. See, there's different versions in here. God only knows why, they did it this way. But again, no search. You got invitation code, which really isn't a whole lot of help here. As you can see, it's going to return nothing. So this is kind of useless. So again, joining a server is going to be a little bit difficult. Just recommend doing it here, either through the Steam Connect where you can map the game, or just connect right here. So stop there. I can't. Yeah, the multiplayer rooms, as far as I can tell, doesn't really either. It's a stop. There we go. Thank you, game. Again, here's some other lists. I'm not sure what multiplayer rooms are, what the difference is between that and the private servers. I couldn't really tell you because there's no instructions. It doesn't really tell me what's what. So, can't answer that question. Somebody in chat wants to drop a comment. That's fine. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to load up a new start. So let's go back. And I'm just going to, I don't know why this keeps popping up other than the disclaimer. But we're just hit continue. And I'm going to enter my own little session. And we'll go from there. So I'm going to get that session back up. Again, I'm playing in casual mode in this because I didn't want to really be too run around eating and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. But the hosted session is going to be in normal mode. You definitely see the difference of difficulties, and God help those people that are doing master. It does give you a description of what happens, you know, how long can you endure. Yeah, they're pretty, that's an understatement. So let's go back in and let's start it off. Okay, I decided not to go into that game. I'm going to go ahead and start another one. And we're going to call this video game. If you want to allow other people to join, click that box, or just click that box. You can put max player quantity. I don't know if that's the number of players. Yeah, it is. It looks like it is. So 8 on a co-op. You can obviously go higher on a hosted. We'll just leave it at 4. Doesn't matter. And we're going to hit start. So I'm going to do casual mode again, just start it up the same way I did before. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I wanted to actually show you the tutorials that come up as you're playing. It's kind of like a as you play tutorial system. So I'll hit start. It does show you cutscenes. If you are interested in the story behind the game, there is several different movies and I don't know, the history of why you're here, not just like an arc or waking up on a beach. You have no clue why. It does take time for it to actually spin up the server instance. As you can see, cutscene. Not going to watch them. But this actually sets the stage to pick your customer design. You can go in, you can edit the facial details. There's some things in here you can do. I wouldn't call it the greatest customization, but I mean, there's some cool stuff in here to play around with to make yourself look unique. It is a third-person game, so you are going to be looking at yourself a lot. So if that's important to you, feel free, edit away. Click next, you're going to get another cutscene. Again, feel free to look at those as you want. These are the different skill types. I found this out after the fact. Most of this revolves around a support. And again, things are all based on masks. And I'm going to explain masks in a little bit of very short detail. But you can see what the different focuses are. One's kind of like the tanky role, a ranged role, or a healer or support role. At least that's the way I understood it. So I could be wrong on that. There's not a lot of explanation of, like, you can see in here, this is healer. This guy is like a slayer. And this is like a sniper. So think of it, range, tank, healer, support. You put the name of your character. Oh yeah, we'll just do the old. And then that's going to take, and you can change your mask color, you know, whatever you want, pupil colors, and then go into create. Again, another cutscene. We'll explain why you did what you did. I don't know. Take it for what it is. But the game's going to pop you in somewhere in this massive map, as you can see. It's very large. Some people start at the beach. I always seem to start right here in the middle of the map. I have no idea or in the far right of the map. I don't know why. But as you can see, I'm provided with some objectives at the top. And it's, like I said, it's kind of a play as you go. So it's, you know, here it's telling me aim at nearby bushes, press E. Checks things off. It does, by doing these, gives you a lot of points. For completing them, each one. But I highly recommend that your first time play, you do it just like I just did, kind of get a look and feel, go through some of the quests, and understand a little bit about what each of these do. Now, it does tell you hit tab to go to different views. This is your inventory. You do your manual crafting within here. You can search a blueprint, like if you want to heal bandage. It'll show you things that you can and can't make that'll be locked. But there's the bandage. If I want to know, well, gee, what do I need to unlock to do that? I can double click on that. It takes me to a skill tree. Again, there's letters associated. You're going to be in here a lot. And then you may see, okay, there's 3 functions underneath that. So the tech tree in this is really cool. A lot like Conan. And then there's the mask menu. Mask menu is very interesting. All your powers, how many followers you can have, everything is baked into here. Some of these you can actually gain by just going and getting crystals. As you can see, you need a green crystal there. You level up your mask. If you upgrade your mask, you have to rebuild all these. It's kind of like you're repairing a broken function. Because as you complete these, you'll actually see that it says repaired. And there's little shrines you can go and actually lock these in. Again, there's not a lot of explanation, but the tutorial does walk you through that. If you hit it in at any time, it will show you a lot of this stuff and gives you a really good overall short description of what each is. So you'll spend a lot of time in these menus. It'll actually pop up and tell you, hey, you need to do some of this. What the collection, you know, what each little thing means. But we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. As you do things, it's skilling up another skill tree. Under your stats of, you know, how far you've progressed in like archery, they're all in here, and your proficiencies. All these level up as you're doing stuff. So as you're cutting, like if you're logging, you're leveling up your logging skill. Digging or mining, you know, you can see, and you can, down here shows you what the advantages are for each, you know, at each level. And then there's these mastery trees. These are nothing you really need to unlock. It's just going to kind of do it on its own. But you will see how those come up. And you can equip that skill. Actually, that's something I need to look into. I haven't been doing that. I don't know what that is. It looks like as I gain each one, I can equip those skills. I need to go back and look at that. Because after all that gameplay, I didn't really do a whole lot with that. There is food in this, and water. So in casual, it's not going to be really bad. See across the bottom, there's the your water, food. There's your mask energy. Let's see if I can figure out. No, I can't. That's pretty stupid. The clan, this is where you're actually you can view other clans in a multiplayer, or you can create your own. There's your tribe. You can apply to join, or you can create your own. Nice thing about getting a tribe, if I just do razor and hit create tribe, you can see I've got these different roles. But one of the cool things about this is, and then these are some masteries. I'm going through this really fast. Again, I highly recommend you go check out some of the tutorials on these. I just want to give you just a glimpse of how much is built into this, for, you know, just in early access. All right, so I'm going to pause here, reorganize my thoughts, and see what I've covered and babbled and where I feel like I've done justice. But you can now see my tribe. There's my tribe. That's me. And I can see all my minions, thralls, whatever you want to call them, as I gain them. Another cool thing is I can actually take control of my my different clan members, as long as they're NPCs, and I'll show you that as well. So those are just a few of the cool things to see. So I went into my save game just because I wanted to show you some of the... Oh, get back here. Hey, you're not cooperating. I talked about controlling your tribe. One of the things you do is you can actually take control. Now I'm her. So I've now become a tribe member, and I'm controlling this person. They do have comments and little how they're doing. They have individual stats that level up over time. You have to equip them. So as far as thralls go, or if you're comparing it to Conan, yeah, there's a lot of similarities in how that works. But the cool thing is I can actually control them as well. So right now setting up routes, and it's night, so I don't want to show you a lot of this as far as the building and textures. It's very similar to Ark, or more even so to Conan. No terraforming, things like that, so you're gonna have to find the flat kind of area to build depending on your size. I will tell you, as you upgrade these machines, you're probably going to change your layout multiple times with all these workstations, as a lot of them have not that one, have upgrade slots, so you can actually add little upgrades where this says fuel. You'll see upgrades, things like the weapons bench. I believe that one. None of these have upgrades, but all these have different functions. You're going to need them all eventually. This is sort of your radius of protection. It's sort of, this is the anti-clutter. Some clan decides to abort the server. You just fuel it. It adds protection to, and you can upgrade these to gain more radius of protection of your buildings and things like that. So that they don't decay. So that's where Empires, the game I mentioned earlier, has some of that. It's like the building radius. There's an upgrade. So it can show you the upgrade slot. It does make this workbench bigger when you provide that upgrade. Usually those are through world bosses or quests, or little areas within the game. There's 3 upgrades to this one. This is the weapon. Basically, you can see here. This is mainly for just dealing with wood, which I don't know what happened to all the items in here. I'm gonna have words with my the rest of my team because I kind of woke up to this. They redid my whole breeding area and gardening area. The garden areas are plots. I'm sure you've seen games familiar like that. They do have different fertilizers, some that are required to grow, and you can lose entire crops. They have wells, which this one's buried, not sure why. I can go ahead and I can just click on the well and I can fill her jar. But the reason these are nice is you can actually click on that and manually water or hydrate a particular plot just by clicking on it. And you can see the level going up as far as the hydration. So just a lot of information in here. And then you can also see the farm type of what you're growing or what I'm growing. So I'm gonna release her. Try to get back to my own character. And alright, and go back to me, and we'll talk a little bit about the character. Again, you can see the things I showed you earlier. And this is my overall happiness, recognition level. Still figuring out, you can hover over and that gives you a brief description, but again, videos are going to be your friends. I get a lot of information about each of my tribe members. I upgraded the mask, which I'll show you again here in a minute. But I went back and did something interesting under character and mastery. As I've leveled these up, some of these you can see are green. I don't see where I can equip the skill. So that's something I'm going to have to look in today. But again, you can see the proficiencies as I've been progressing through these different, these areas. And you can see the bonuses that I'm getting. You can see the crafting, the tribesman queues in there as well. These are some of the things I have her doing. There is a lot of flexibility as far as waypoints for patrols, you know, managing pins, you know, just management of the granary. I have so much control in what my tribe does in this game as compared to other games where you just give them a radius. So they do provide you a lot of work, kind of reducing the overhead. But I'm going to tell you, it's not without challenges with the AI right now. They do get stuck on things. It's sometimes hard to figure out, okay, what are they waiting on? What am I missing? They take work breaks constantly. They have a happiness score as well, so you have to figure out, why are they happy? I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it takes time. It's a lot of getting used to. So right now she's actually doing what I told her. I set up, she also works these benches, and I'm making various feeds. Because one of the things I noticed, I said earlier, they had moved my animal pens, and no one's on with me right now. It's just those are all NPCs running around. Each person's allowed to have whatever the limit of their mask is. But I noticed that their troughs were empty. This is water, so they're 900. They need watered. They haven't been taken care of, and they're eating crickets. And I know for a fact my turkeys don't like crickets. But that also provides me the poop and the eggs and feathers. And they're also loud. These are another animal in the game. Not gonna... I don't know what the heck they're called. Copa something. I don't want to butcher their Capabria. But this is their pen. So when you have someone managing them, they'll butcher them if there's too many. All that can be set through the slaughter. This you can say at 90%. Start what do you call it? Not culinary, but killing things. Let's just leave it at that. And then it says what they can feed them. So anyway, that was a horrible job of explaining that, but it is what it is. And I'm thinking out loud what they've done. I didn't expect to see all this. In the state it's in. Oh, there's the turkey. I think I figured out what Sleepwalker decided with the breeding pen is that you can assign them to that, and they'll actually feed them out of there. But I don't see that that's working, so that's something I'm gonna have to investigate. Again, filling the troughs is pretty simple. If I click on 9, I can actually fill that. You can see the water go up. And now they have water. And then go into the well. I know this is above and beyond a tutorial, or not a tutorial, but a review. But I just wanted to give you an overall look at what the game looks like in a nutshell. This is the map we've explored. We do have several areas that we've plopped down bonfires. Some of them are temporary, but as you can see, this map is huge. We've only in 17 hours worked out of here. These are these mysterious shrines I was talking about where you'll find the outcasts. Eventually we're going to do enough. We're going to piss off the right people, and we're going to start dealing with attacks. Usually they're attacking other tribes of MP or yeah, NPCs that are guarding like mines and things like that, where you're going to need metals. But once you get a reputation score with them, which I have not found where those scores are, negative or positive, but I will look today. Is when are they gonna start attacking me? Because that's the big question right now. When do we have to worry about defenses? When are we gonna get waves of attacks? If you remember in Conan, they have the waves of attack, but they are predictable. And I don't remember what it was called, but as the bar increased, you knew you were gonna get attacked, and it would tell you. So I haven't experienced one of those in 17 hours, so we've had plenty of time to really do what we want to do as far as just leveling up things, that just figuring out the game, and without any help from videos, which probably isn't going to last much longer because I'm getting a little frustrated with what I do know and what I don't know. So that is something I'm going to look at. But you know, go check out the videos. Look at the gameplay. Again, I gave this game a score. I want to keep this short. I'm sorry. 8 of a 10. I like what I see in the fights. The AI is rather... They do use their, like, special attacks. But they're kind of stupid. At times. I'm not going to lie. Even the ones that you control. The pathing gets a little kludgy, so it's kind of easy to go back range and just flick them off and they can't get to you. So pathing is an issue, which I'm sure they'll fix, and there'll be no place to hide. As long as they're not clipping through my fortified walls, hey, I'm good. But hopefully this has been helpful. It's the best I can do with the short amount of time. I'm not a professional streamer. But I do love developer work and good games, and I think this is going to be a great game. I really do. So, having said that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next review or preview.